Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're tackling something I think many of you advanced English learners know all too well. It's that C1 plateau. You've got great skills, right? You're reading complex stuff, watching shows, maybe even cracking jokes. But there's still this awareness, this painful sense that things aren't quite perfect.
Yeah, exactly. That little word choice that feels off, or a grammar point you thought you knew just vanishing under pressure.
Right. Or the joke that lands with a thud. It can really feed into that imposter syndrome, can it? Making you doubt how far you've actually come.
It's such a strange place to be because, when you were starting out, mistakes were fine, expected even.
Certainly a part of the deal.
But at C1, suddenly that same mistake feels amplified, like a judgment. It feels like it somehow cancels out all your hard work. And often it's not really about the specific error anymore. It's the fear of making it. That fear, I think, is the real block for a lot of very capable learners. It stops them reaching that next level, that true fluency.
Okay, so if fear is the enemy here, what's the plan? How do we get past it? It sounds like just avoiding mistakes isn't the answer.
Not at all. In fact, it's the opposite.
Okay.
The core idea we want to explore in this deep dive is that you need to embrace failure. Not just tolerate it, but actually welcome it.
Embrace failure. That sounds difficult.
Well, think of it this way. You need to dissect it, understand it, reframe it completely. It's not a sign you're bad at English. It's data.
Data.
Yeah, like the best, most specific feedback you can get on where you need to focus next. So we're going to look at different kinds of failure and give you a framework, way to turn those frustrating moments into actual learning tools.
That's a big mental shift, though, especially if you're already feeling like an imposter. Where do you even start changing that relationship with messing up?
You start with the foundation, the psychology of it. And a lot of this goes back to Carol Dweck's research at Stanford.
Growth mindset versus fixed mindset.
Yep. Exactly. So the fixed mindset is the belief that your abilities are, fixed, set in stone. So every challenge feels like a test you might fail.
And failing means I'm not good enough.
Precisely. It feels like a final verdict on you. I failed, therefore I am a failure. It hits your core identity.
Which makes you want to just avoid anything risky, right? Stick to what you know you can do perfectly.
Exactly. You play it safe. But the growth mindset, that's different. That's the belief that abilities aren't fixed. They can be developed through effort, through learning.
So challenges become opportunities.
Opportunities, exactly. And failure. It's not a verdict. It's just a signal. It tells you, okay, that approach didn't work, or, this area needs practice. It's giving you the info you need to improve.
So for C1 learner, it's about consciously choosing that growth mindset. When something goes wrong, don't despair, analyze.
Yes. Instead of thinking, oh no, I messed up.
Yeah.
Think, okay, what happened there? How can I say that better next time? It's a conscious shift.
Okay, but if we're going to embrace failure, we probably need places where it feels okay to fail. Safe, even.
Right.
Because messing up in a high-stakes meeting is terrifying.
Absolutely. You need what psychologists call psychological safety. Like low-stakes environments where you can experiment, where the consequences aren't dire.
Makes sense. So you can try out those more complex sentences or that tricky vocabulary without risking your job or, your self-esteem.
Right. And there are ways to create these spaces.
Like what?
Well, a good language tutor or coach is perfect for this. They're trained to give constructive feedback without judgment. It's their job to help you through the messy bits.
Permission to fail, basically.
Exactly. Or finding trusted language partners, other learners or patient native speakers, where you explicitly agree, hey, let's help each other spot mistakes. No judgment.
I like that. Making it a team effort.
Yeah. And then there's journaling, your own private space. Try writing about something complex, see where you stumble. Nobody else needs to see it. It's just for you.
That feels less intimidating.
And related to this, you need to cultivate the right language around failure. The words you use matter.
How so?
Well, instead of saying, I made such a stupid mistake, try reframing it. Maybe, okay, that was a valuable learning opportunity.
Less emotional charge.
Right. Or instead of, my pronunciation is terrible, try, this is a specific aspect of my phonology I need to work on. It directs you towards action, not self-criticism.
Using phrases like a misstep instead of a failure or taking something in stride.
Yes, exactly. Language that lowers the emotional stakes and helps you stay analytical.
Okay, so mindset shift. Check. Safe practice spaces. Check. Vocabulary of growth. Check. Where do we apply this first? Let's talk technical stuff. Grammar, vocab, pronunciation, those persistent little errors.
Right, the arena of technical failure. And at C1, these are often subtle, aren't they? Which is why just more practice isn't always enough. You need a targeted approach.
Those fossilized errors that just won't go away.
Exactly. And for those, the deliberate practice loop is incredibly effective. It has 4 steps.
Okay, lay it on me.
First, perform. Put yourself in a slightly challenging situation. Not just casual chat, but maybe explaining something complex or giving a mini presentation, something that pushes you a bit.
Step outside the comfort zone. Got it.
Second, and this is crucial, record yourself. Voice memo, video, whatever. You need the raw data. Memory is unreliable.
Oof. Listening to yourself speak, it can be painful.
It can be, but it's essential. Third, analyze. Listen back like a detective. Hunt for specific recurring patterns. Is it a particular grammar structure, word choice, intonation, pacing?
Don't just cringe. Diagnose.
Precisely. Then fourth, correct, and drill. Once you've pinpointed a specific fossilized error, isolate it. If it's a consistently drop in the as on third-person singular verbs, create targeted drills just for that. Use tools like Uglish to hear pronunciation models. Practice just that one thing until it starts to feel natural.
That systematic approach feels much more powerful than just hoping errors will disappear. Do you have a story? An example of someone who really used this?
Oh, absolutely. Let's talk about Dr. Kenji Tanaka, brilliant molecular biologist from Japan. His written English, flawless, published in top journals.
Okay, sounds impressive.
But his spoken English, while grammatically perfect, had this one major issue. It was almost completely monotone. Flat prosody, the rhythm, the intonation.
So, technically correct, but hard to listen to.
Exactly.
Oh.
His amazing ideas just sounded dull. He gave a big conference talk, and the feedback was brutal, something like intellectually profound, but really hard to stay engaged with.
Ouch. That must have stung, especially for scientists wanting to share important work.
Devastating. But Kenji, being a scientist, treated it like an experiment on himself. He used that deliberate practice loop.
So he started recording himself.
Yes, he'd perform and record a short presentation every week. Then he'd force himself to analyze. It was tough listening, but he heard it clearly. No pitch variation, steady, unchanging pace. He also spotted a specific fossilized error, often dropping the finals on plural nouns.
Ah, so both delivery issue and a specific grammatical slip.
Right. And he tackled both systematically. For the delivery, he needed a model. He chose Neil deGrasse Tyson, the astrophysicist.
Oh yeah, very engaging speaker.
Right. KG started shadowing him, mimicking his intonation, his pauses, his energy, not the words, but the music of the speech. And for the plural is, he created a simple drill. Reading science texts aloud daily, really overemphasizing every single plural S.
That sounds like focused, deliberate work, isolating the problem and hitting it hard.
It was painstaking, humbling, probably. But fast forward 6 months, another conference. Same brilliant science, totally different delivery. He used pauses, emphasis, energy.
And the feedback.
Remarkable. Someone told him, "You made the science come alive." He turned that failure data into a huge success.
Wow. Okay, so that covers the technical side, but what about the social side? The awkwardness, when you say something grammatically perfect, but it just lands wrong.
Ah, yes, the arena of social failure. This is often trickier, more nuanced. It's about pragmatics, the unwritten rules of how language is used in context. Cultural norms, politeness, reading the room.
Yeah, you can follow all the grammar rules and still offend someone or just seem off.
Totally. And mistakes here can feel really embarrassing. The instinct is to just bury the memory.
Right, just pretend it never happened.
But again, growth mindset means doing the opposite. You need to perform a social autopsy.
A social autopsy. Sounds a bit grim.
Maybe, but it's effective. Step 1, replay the scene. Mentally, or write it down. What actually happened? Where did it feel awkward? Step 2, diagnose the cause. Was it pragmatic, cultural? Did you maybe just talk too much about yourself? Try to pinpoint the root.
Okay, trying to be objective about something that probably felt quite personal at the time.
That's the challenge. Then, step 3, formulate a hypothesis. Based on your diagnosis, what could you do differently next time? Maybe I should have been less direct, or perhaps I need to ask more questions. Step 4, research and test. Look up cultural norms, watch interactions, learn new phrasing. Then, consciously try out your new hypothesis in a similar situation.
It's like applying the scientific method to social interactions. Can you give us an example here, too?
Sure. Think about Sofia Petrova. She was a sharp diplomat from Bulgaria working in Brussels. Her English was precise, Logical, she approached negotiations very directly.
Sufficient.
You'd think.
Yeah.
But her colleagues, especially British and Irish ones, found her abrasive, even confrontational.
Oh, dear.
Yeah. One big negotiation actually collapsed because, according to feedback, she defended the other side. She was baffled. She told her mentor, but my points were correct.
The correct but not persuasive trap again.
Exactly. Her mentor gently pointed that out. So Sophia did a social autopsy. She replayed that failed meeting. She remembered saying something like, your proposal has 3 fundamental flaws.
Oof. Pretty direct.
Very. And she recalled the counterpart's reply, well, that's a rather direct assessment.
Yeah.
At the time, she thought, good, they see I'm clear. Now she realized it was criticism, a failure of cultural pragmatics.
Understanding that indirectness is valued in some cultures.
Right. Her diagnosis.
Yeah.
Directness perceived as aggression. Hypothesis. Need to soften language. Research. She actually read books like Kate Fox's Watching the English, watched UK political debates, focusing on how they disagreed politely.
So she built a new toolkit.
A whole new toolkit of hedging language. Instead of, you're wrong, she learned phrases like, I wonder if we might be overlooking, or could we perhaps explore?
Subtle shifts, but probably powerful.
Huge difference. Her next negotiation, she was just as firm on substance, but used this softer, more collaborative language. It wasn't confrontational anymore. They reached a deal. She learned that how you say something is often as important as what you say. Her failure taught her that crucial lesson.
Okay, technical failure, social failure.
Yep.
Is there another level?
There is. The highest level, perhaps,
Yeah.
strategic failure.
This is when your communication might be technically fine, even socially okay, but it just doesn't achieve your goal.
Like, you gave a good presentation, people seemed to like it, but you didn't get the funding. Or you had a great interview chat, but didn't get the job. Exactly. Your overall strategy failed. Analyzing this means asking, was my core message right? Was my approach aligned with my objective?
So how do you tackle that?
With an A/B testing mindset. Think like a startup testing different versions of a web page.
Okay.
First, define your goal, crystal clear. Get the project funded, secure this specific job offer. Second, develop strategy A. This is your first attempt, your best guess at what will work. Prepare your pitch, your key arguments. Third, execute and measure. Do it, see what happens. Success or failure. Fourth, if it failed, analyze and iterate to strategy B. Why did strategy A fail? Get feedback if you can. Was the message wrong? Tone off. Did you miss their key concerns? Use that insight to build a better strategy B for the next try.
This sounds very relevant for things like job hunting or pitching ideas. Any stories here?
Let's talk about David Chen. He was an engineer from Taiwan, built an amazing educational app, poured everything into it. His C1 English was perfectly decent.
Okay.
He lined up pitch meetings with Silicon Valley venture capitalists and crickets. Meeting after meeting ended with a polite, no thanks.
Ugh, the sound of crickets. Painful.
Absolutely. After maybe the 5th rejection, David knew it wasn't just bad luck, it was a strategic failure. His English was fine. His message was the problem.
What was wrong with it?
He analyzed his pitches. He realized he was talking like an engineer, all about the cool features, the algorithms, the tech specs.
But VCs aren't necessarily engineers.
Right, they're investors. He's
Yeah.
failing to connect with their interests, failing to communicate the why.
So he needed a different strategy.
He got some great advice from a mentor. Nobody invests in an algorithm. They invest in a story and a vision. That hit home. Strategy A, feature-focused, failed. Time for strategy B, story-focused.
So he rewrote the whole pitch.
Completely. He started not with the tech, but with a personal story about his own childhood learning struggles. He talked about his vision for helping kids discover the joy of learning. He framed the app as a solution to a real human need.
Shifting from product to purpose.
Exactly. He practiced this new pitch like crazy. The next VC meeting, totally a different vibe.
They engaged more?
Way more. They asked about his vision, his passion, the market need, not just the code. And a week later, he got his first term sheet, an offer of investment.
Wow. And that came directly from analyzing why the previous attempts failed.
Directly. Those rejections were painful data points that forced him to fundamentally change his strategy. He learned to sell the dream, not just the product.
So wrapping this all up, the journey from C1 upwards isn't about avoiding mistakes. It's about refinement.
Yes, like forging metal. You need the heat, the stress testing to find the weak spots and make it stronger. Failure is that heat.
And the stories of Kenji, Sophia, David, they weren't necessarily about genius, but about courage.
Absolutely. The courage to listen to your own awkward recordings, to relive embarrassing moments, to face rejection head-on, and crucially, to see it all not as judgment, but as data, illuminating data.
So the final challenge then for you listening, for the advanced learner, it's letting go of needing to be perfect.
And instead, cultivating the desire to just be better.
Understanding that the awkward moment, the presentation fumbles, the rejected pitch, they aren't signs you're failing, they're actually gifts.
Your own personalized curriculum for getting to the next level.
So the takeaway is, go fail. Seek out those challenges. Volunteer for the slightly scary presentation. Pitch the big idea.
And then record, reflect, analyze, iterate.
Build your path to mastery with the bricks of those failures, but make sure they're well-analyzed failures. Because it's only by having the courage to be imperfect
that you'll ever achieve true excellence.